Oh, it didn't make me plug in anything. Guess we're live. We are. Normally it makes me like plug in all that stuff, and I didn't have to this time. So we're live. um. Okay. All right, guys. Well, as we wait for the chat to fill up, I'll start for the people who are watching later on. The Mr. Pete channel needs 800 subs. Hello, how are you? What's going on? First, yes, you are first. You win. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Nothing Nerdy. I am here today with the Inspector Who Reacts, and we will be discussing Chapter 4 of The Mandalorian. This is our fourth time getting together and discussing these episodes. It's been a blast. So, Inspector, how are you?
Pretty good. Had a good Thanksgiving and all that such.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yep. Ready to discuss this very interesting episode.
Yeah. This episode was a nice treat after after the excitement of Thanksgiving. So this episode was a lot of fun. You're first. What do you win? You win the excitement of hanging out with us.
You can be in charge.
You can be in charge. There you go. You're in charge of the chat. All right. All right. So let's start. Well, overall, what was your overall impression of this episode? Maybe like compared to the other episodes, did you feel like it was one of the better ones, or?
It was okay. I think this was a good episode, but it almost felt like filler. Like this kind of felt like a break episode, like a filler break. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Still good, but one of the things this episode straight up reminded me of was the Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven story that like these group of heroes have to help these villagers against bandit raiders. Which is and also Clone Wars actually did an episode about this too, a very similar one.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've seen this storyline in other shows. Yeah, one of them being Clone Wars. And also, I'm pretty sure there was an episode of Doctor Who that was like this. There was something similar. I could be...
Yeah, kind of. I think there was like this episode, not exactly the same type of story, but the same kind of plot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was still a very fun and interesting, good episode. It's just, it was one of those where it felt like we didn't really advance much. We advanced characters, but we didn't advance the plot of the situation.
Right, it didn't advance the main plot, the whole storyline with Baby Yoda and whatnot. They kind of put a pause on that. But I guess it's probably intentional. They don't want to give away too much too soon. They want like a natural build to it. Mr. Pete agrees. Filler. It was a filler.
Yeah. It was you okay?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was reading the chat. I'm sorry. Mr. Pete suggests you turn your mic up a little bit. I don't know if if you're able to do that. I think you sound okay from here.
Maybe
I want to check something here. What was this?
Yeah, maybe you can turn me up like a little.
Hey Elser, how are you? Thanks for hanging out.
So yeah, very good episode of the fourth. Baby Yoda at the top of his form. Yeah, okay. So the opening of this episode with Baby Yoda still being adorable, still being a little thing.
Well, he's a little brat.
I love that so much. It's like that kind of kid attitude of touching buttons.
Yeah.
And then told, don't touch that. And he just like...
Then he just scoops him up and puts him on his lap. I'm gonna make you mad.
And then he's like, get in my lap. He's a dad.
Yeah, right?
He's a father.
He's like this tough old Mandalorian, but like there's this little Baby Yoda that like kind of just softens his character a little bit. He's like
So,
he went from tough guy to father figure.
and yeah, I like when, of course, when they land, it's like, all right, you stay. Okay, stay. And then he goes, and then Baby Yoda's already there. Which I find it kind of funny how fast Baby Yoda can walk.
I was just about to say that. I guess that's his like those that old force abilities, stealth like. He's just like quick and swift and boom, there he is.
Yeah. Uh,
But
yeah.
before we see that, it starts out with we get like a short glimpse of the village.
Yeah.
So we see these the
You go ahead.
oh okay. So then we see these krill farmers, um, which is krill is like this, I guess like this fish thing
The
that lives in
shrimp.
the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Okay, I will say this. It's kind of funny that they just straight up called Krill.
yeah.
Like, they didn't give them any kind of Star Wars name or something.
Yep. Very simple. So yeah, so they're farming for some krill, and it's like a very happy scene. Everybody's happy, hard at work, and the kids are playing. And we see this little girl, Winta, who is trying to catch a frog, and as she
Everything goes very bad very quickly.
yeah. So it looks like she's just having fun. It's this fun, innocent little scene, and then all of a sudden we hear like this thud, and like we hear something approaching. The birds are flying away. What were you gonna say?
I was just like, this is me, but me normal. I wasn't.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Let me just stop here for a second. But more seriously, Randall becomes more and more human and gains emotions. Very true. We learn more about him too, which makes him a lot less cold. Yes. Mr. Pete, I think the Mandalorian. Oh man.
Somebody did bring that up. It's like, what happens if Mandalorians like get married or something, or have like, do they have like, they have to like show their faces to their relationships, right?
Maybe not. You know what? I know something that's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. Although I guess this episode kind of makes you think a little bit. He said no to the Twi'lek baths. Well,
Yeah, that's a very determined man.
I mean, maybe he doesn't need to take the mask off. I mean, it's only considered filler if it doesn't progress character or story. Here we learn foundlings are the only ones that keep the helmets on. Oh.
Yeah.
That's why he always says this is the way. This conversation's getting too funny. I can't.
Yeah.
I blush very easily. Okay. Where were we? Okay, hold on.
Okay. That's what I was gonna. Sorry, I was gonna mention. I thought it was an AT-AT. I thought it was gonna be an AT-AT Walker.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the AT-ST was pretty cool. It's nice to see that come back.
Yeah. We don't actually see it until later on, and when you do, it's a little bit of a surprise as to what it looks like. But so in the beginning, we don't know exactly what we're hearing. But
Big giant something.
yeah, like something approaching, and next thing we know, we see all these villagers approaching.
Fire, there's panic.
Yeah, everybody starts running. This little girl who is trying to catch the frog, her mother Omera, I don't know if it's pronounced Omera, jumps to catch her, but they don't have enough time. So they have to hide in the water underneath the basket. That was one of those scenes where I was like, I didn't breathe. Because with the way the Mandalorian's been going, I'm like, they're gonna die. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I
got that too, but I liked how that was very clever with the basket. Like,
Yeah.
for them to be in the middle of it, but them not being exposed or out in the open.
Yeah.
Very clever.
It goes to I could be wrong, but I feel like the mother in this episode, Amara, I feel like she's one of those characters who's going to come back at some point because I feel like she has a whole backstory that we don't know about. They're like little things that kind of hints.
I want to know more about her.
Yeah.
Or at least the way what she was able to do in this episode makes me curious to see what she was before.
Exactly. Like, I feel like she had this whole history. And this is like one of those things, like, very resourceful. Like, she's obviously very smart. I would say probably the smartest out of all of the villagers. And yeah, smart, resourceful. So yeah, so this is kind of the first time that we see that. The Clitunians look like space orcs. Have they made at scarier than in Return of the Jedi? Yes, I would agree with that, Van City. It's definitely scarier.
Yeah, that's, like, it's always funny. You hear about, like, you see, like, we'll get more into that later, but I will say, like, it's interesting to see how, like, we see the ATS, the most common form of the ATSDs was from Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, they were a menace, but they weren't, as intimidating as, like, this is a actual thing that can take out squads easily. Like, this isn't something you could easily take out unless you have the right tools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely was big and intimidating and and scary looking. All right, so we see that scene in the beginning, and then that's when we get the next scene with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda arriving on their ship. I like that he calls him a womp rat.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't think we heard that since A New Hope. Cause didn't Luke say he used to shoot womp rats or something?
Yeah. Womp rats are they're supposed to be no bigger than 2 meters. I mean, they're like 6-foot rats. Like, Luke's like in his little skyhopper, just mowing these things down. Getting off his lawn or whatever.
His lawn.
Sand lawn.
A sand lawn? I mow the sand. Oh, that's funny. I hope Mr. Pete says, I hope the Widow returns in season 2.
Yeah.
Or at the end of season 1. You never know. This might not be the end of her.
Again, it does feel, like I said, this feels like a kind of an off episode. Like, this is one, like, here's something we may never see it again.
Right.
But, yeah, I do hope we can maybe learn more about this character. Because it's always, interesting in the Wikipedias, like, background characters, even like characters who don't even get a line in some episodes, have a whole backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, Destic Sleaze Bagano has like this whole backstory. And he did like 2 lines in episode 2.
Mm-hmm. He was an interesting character. We talk about him a lot on my my Twitch live streams. We were joking about me dressing up as him for Halloween. It didn't end up happening. It might happen next year. We'll see. He's an interesting character.
Yeah. Home and rethought his life.
What's that?
He went home and rethought about it.
Yes. Exactly. It had Empire Strike vibes when they were looking at what planet or system to hide in, Van City says. Yeah, that's true. But I thought it was kind of cool that, like, like he had plans to, like, lay low for a few months. Like, initially, like, Mandalorian, he wanted his next mission and whatnot. He wanted to move on to the next thing. But, now that he has this, now that he has Baby Yoda,
he's no longer part of the guild.
Oh, yeah, well, that too. He wants to just kind of lay low, stay out of everybody's hair and just hide. And, but, like, he wasn't, like, initially, he wasn't trying to pawn Baby Yoda off on anyone. He was going to take him with him, and I thought that was kind of cool. Like, this, tough guy was suddenly taking care of this baby.
Yeah, and it makes sense. He knows Baby Yoda's too dangerous to be with him. Not only does Baby Yoda have a high price on his head,
yeah,
but he's also, Mandalorian leads a very dangerous life.
Mm-hmm.
It's no place for a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
A very, very small child.
And doesn't listen. Okay, so the Mandalorian, he heads to the village.
Finds a cafe, like this kind of
Yeah, like this,
cat.
yeah, like a tavern, this town gathering place where everybody
Yeah.
seems to hang out and eat and drink. And, uh,
Well, um, so we finally got to see a live action Lothal cat.
oh, you're right. I didn't put that
Yeah.
together.
Like I was just as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it's the Lothal cat.
You're right. You know what? I was so caught off guard in that scene because I was like, oh my god, don't eat Baby Yoda.
Yeah, it's like Baby Yoda's like not even like half that big size. The thing is huge.
Oh my gosh, I did not put that together.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, that is really cool. Um,
That was a nice little Easter egg or
mhm.
bit of.
Yeah, Mandalorian has been full of them. All these little, little things kind of connecting other, like episodes of other shows that we've watched, which is really cool. Um,
Okay, in the chat, that's like, well, I mean, like, not every cat is from the like. Somebody could take a cat as a pet and bring it with them. Yeah.
wait, what was the question? Wait a minute. Uh, maybe it was a, it was a tuca. Loth cats are on Lethal. What's a tuca?
Like German shepherds aren't all in Germany.
Well, yeah, somebody could have, brought one over. You never know, like you said. Hey, Brenda, what's going on? Um,
Brando.
Thank you guys for all of you who are here so far. Thanks for hanging out and watching. We're having a good time so far. I hope you guys are too. um, all right, so this waitress woman, whatever, comes over. Asks him what they want. He refuses to eat anything because obviously he can't take his helmet off. Um, and we find out a little bit more about that later on. But he orders some bone broth for the kid, and he questions this woman. Who is that? He sees like this woman sitting over in the corner.
Yeah, he sees. I think he sees a familiar face.
Yeah, yeah, and uh, and he asks. We see him ask her like, how long has she been here? Just trying to find out some more information, and he just starts throwing money at her. Uh, and the girl disappears, and he goes chasing after her. Leaves Baby Yoda in the
He
camp.
gives Baby Yoda that little stool, little cart.
Yeah, his little kid seat. And
Gives some orders into like a cup of like milk or blue or whatever.
bone broth.
Bone broth.
Although I would imagine he would need to eat something more substantial, but as he likes to eat bugs and creatures and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um. So anyway,
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
okay. So he leaves her. He leaves Baby Yoda in the care of this woman, and he goes to chase after this woman. Um, they fight. They duke it out. It was pretty. That was a pretty cool fight scene, I thought.
Yeah, and he's got like his helmet can scan for like I guess recent footprints or everything like recent.
Oh
travel.
right. Yeah, I thought that was. We're always learning something new about what he.
Technology.
Yeah, like about the helmet, about what he, like all the gadgets and stuff that he has, like what they all do, like his weapons and whatnot. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. He was able to trace her footprints, and was able to follow her, and
They disappear. He looks up, and there she is.
yeah, and she was taking him down. She did she did a number on him.
That fight was brutal.
Mhm.
It didn't hold back.
Yeah, that was one of those ones I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like it hurt just watching it.
Took some hits. She threw some hits.
Mhm.
That was a really good back and forth.
Mhm.
And they pull out their blasters, and then they get interrupted by the meme Yoda.
Yeah.
the
But that's none of my business. Oh, I lost my stuff. Hold on. Yeah, that was so funny. He's just sitting there like, hey guys, hey dad, what are you doing, dad? Can I play? MXC, hey, time for Can 4. No, I'm still hydrating. I have to recover from Friday night.
Oh. Yeah, I will say it was like when again, Baby Yoda's like just walking right next to Mandalorian, and you're thinking he's gonna get stepped on.
I know.
Small.
I don't know how he hasn't gotten squashed yet. He's so tiny. He's so cute. Um, all right. Oh yeah. So they fight, pull their guns on each other, whatever. And then he's like, "Hey, you want some soup?"
Yeah, let's have a lunch.
Yeah, lunch date. And so they chat, catch up, whatever.
Oh, she explains.
Like what she
Uh,
did.
yeah, she explains a bit of details about what happened. Like she was a. So we learn later, of course, she was a shock trooper for the rebellion,
Mhm.
which and she explains what she was doing after Endor,
Mhm.
after the battle of Endor, and like what happened rounding up the Empire, dealing with Imperial remnant and such. And then, of course, she explains the rebellion's, or I guess the New Republic's, uh, wanting to turn it over a new leaf from wartime to peacetime.
Mhm.
So there was less need of her,
Right.
but she was still a soldier, a warrior, a mercenary at heart. So she keeps up with her whatever she does.
Mhm. Yeah, and she decided to stay at this planet. What was the name of this planet again? Hold on. Sorgan.
Yeah, they need to give us names.
This is Sorgan, the name of the planet. We finally got a name.
Yeah.
And so she said, she came there to like early retirement or whatever. But she seems to be in hiding as well. And so the Mandalorian's like, oh, well, I guess, this planet's taken. So he gets ready to head out with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, he also mentioned. I guess it is funny how he mentions it's like, yeah, you and I, like, we can't be on the same planet or something.
Yeah.
This planet is too small. This planet's not big enough for the two of us.
Very Mandalorian thing to say. Mr. P wants to know, but why is she wanted? Did she kill her officer?
This is a good question.
Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see her again eventually, I believe. So we'll get some more info.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a good question. Why is she wanted? Especially if she's wanted by anybody, the rebellion or the Empire. Like, there's just. And this does seem like a kind of a nice backwater planet out of the reach of either.
Mm-hmm.
AWOL, yeah, true. She could have just been up and left.
Very true. Is it possible the Imperial warlords hired bounty hunters after her? Possibly. May very well be true.
There's a lot of reasons to hide from people in this galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
As cool as Star Wars is, it's very wild.
Yep. Yep. All right. All right, so the Mandalorian, he heads back to his ship. He's ready to go. And then these two farmers approach him, two farmers from the village. And they're trying to convince him to help them, to take down these raiders that keep coming after them. And they offer him some money, and he's like, that's not enough money. I'm not going to do it. I'm out of here. But then, they say, like, we're farmers, we have land, it's away from everywhere, we have shelter, food and whatnot, and that, like, kind of convinces him to stay.
Yeah, they even, I like how, I did find it kind of funny for a second, like, they just, like, kind of, I mean, I believe he knew they were coming, but they kind of, like, snuck up on him.
Mm-hmm.
And, they also seem to know he's a Mandalorian. So
Yeah.
the stories of Mandalorians are far and wide.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I love how like, they're kind of building that story throughout each episode. Like, we keep running into these people who keep saying that, like, I've heard stories of Mandalorians. Like the Mandalorians are like these legends, and kind of like how there was with the Jedi.
Yeah, like another Jedi.
Yeah.
Another warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Mythical warrior.
Yeah.
Out and about. Rarely ever seen, but has a lot of weight behind them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of cool how they're creating that that feel like these like these Mandalorians are these just like mythical creatures almost.
Yeah, it is nice. Like I feel like it's almost been missing from Star Wars is that myth feeling,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like mystery of, or at least like the galaxy's ooh ah feeling.
Yeah.
For a while, we have kind of always known of like we've kind of like lived with the Jedi. We've lived with like Mandalorians of kind of this kind of culture or ideals for so long that we haven't lived in the backwater. People
Yeah.
rarely ever see that, so we don't.
That's
We
true.
kind of almost forgotten how rare or mythical these guys actually are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. Oh, this is
Yeah,
interesting. You're reading that? Mr. Pete says, so people know of the Mandalorians on backwaters, but the Mando knows nothing of the Force. It's kind of interesting.
yeah, I think that is actually a really interesting question, especially since a lot of Mandalorians have like battle since like the Mandalorians have battled Jedi, it would be in their past, so it
Mm-hmm.
would be almost a little bit more knowledge, especially for them. It would be more knowledgeable, and especially since Mando was in the Clone Wars, he should know about the Jedi.
Yeah.
Um, which makes me now believe maybe he didn't see a Jedi save him. Like there probably weren't any Jedi that saved him
True.
when he was under attack by the droids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe it's one of those things like you can hear about the Force, but not see it. But seeing it in action is a different thing. Like,
Yeah, like seeing is believing. Like you're not gonna believe it until it's right there in front of you.
yeah, it's and maybe even with Mandalorian seen it, but like he sees Baby Yoda do it, but he doesn't know what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's called the Force, but for him, it's probably like, what is this? Is this like the alien, like the Baby Yoda special power, or
Yeah.
is this something else? Like, it's a very kind of unique situation that eventually us and him will probably get more news on
Mm-hmm.
as we go.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those
Yeah,
things I'm excited to see unfold.
that's a very good point and question, I will say.
I have to laugh at what MXD said. I'm just reading back a little bit. We're talking about Kara. It's obvious that she's a Sith in hiding. Most definitely Rey's mom. Theory alert, theory alert.
Every new character we get in Star Wars is. I will say that's like another thing I'm kind of hoping, like now that when the sequel trilogy is done, we will be done with this like all these theories of like, is this character Rey's mom? Is this character Rey's mom?
I know.
Like I remember it's like Rogue One. Are these two characters?
Yeah.
Is Fallen Order? Are these two characters like Rey's parents? And like Rebels or the comics. Like there's just a bunch of like media that unfortunately I feel like the Disney era is kind of restricted. They can't say anything yet,
Yeah.
so they have to keep holding it back. So once the movie finally gives us our answers, now they're like, okay, go free with it, do whatever. You can now, you're free to, the shackles are off.
Yeah. Huh? Wait.
That is, yeah, Luke Skywalker is out and about, but he's the only Jedi right now. He's the only living Jedi that's out and about doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing up, they're talking about how Luke's Luke's he's one guy. It's a whole galaxy. We don't know where we are in the planet right now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm mocking those theories, Nightwalker. No, we know you're mocking it. I just think it's funny. It's I love the crazy theories. Like maybe Baby Yoda is Rey's mom. So.
So.
All right.
Yeah, so.
Where did we leave off? All right. So now he goes to find Kara.
The villagers offer him the money. He gets the money. He finds out that the village is in the middle of nowhere, so he figures, that's a good spot to stay out of things.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will say is like, could have flown. He could have flown over there and all that. Because, I mean, man, like, last time you left your ship alone, you got raided by Jawas.
This is true. He didn't learn his lesson. Baseman Buddha, hey, how are you? Yeah, he definitely, you would think he would have learned his lesson, but yeah, he takes a leap of faith and he leaves the ship and
goes on this very slow droid carriage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love the part when so he's on the wagon talking to Kara, and he gets tired and he lies back, and then like Baby Yoda copies him, and he just
yeah,
it was so cute. He was like he wants to be like his dad.
Oh, that is actually, I think we've actually kind of, I think like they say it a lot in this episode. They do actually say that the baby's a boy.
Oh.
Maybe he's saying your boy or your son or all that sort of thing. It's like, oh, okay, so I guess we now know what.
Did they say your boy or your kid? Did I write that down? Because I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I think they said boy.
Your boy. Yeah, you're right. I guess I assumed, but you know what? You're right. I guess we didn't know that for sure.
Yeah.
I guess Yaddle's the only female that we've seen.
She's the only other one we know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we only have three Yodas, three Yodalines.
Did you say Yodalini? The Yodalorian.
Because I was like, because of so much Yoda, baby Yoda stuff, I need a name now. I need to give it something.
I wonder if he's gonna name him.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'd be like, hey, like I don't know what you are, so I'm gonna name you and the rest of your species for the rest. And doesn't matter what.
Yeah, right. I wonder what the Mandalorian would name him. Let's see. I'm just reading some comments here. There is a father-son relationship between Mando and Baby Yoda. It's very touching, says Elter. I would agree.
He's a droid to watch over his ship.
Yeah. So since Baby Yoda is from the Outer Rim, maybe Ahsoka and Ezra may show up. You never know. There have been more Yoda. There have been more Yodas in Old Republic, but they would be a great grandparent of Baby Yoda at best. True, but Old Republic is not canon.
Yeah.
Many people don't want to admit that, though. I've learned.
The Old Republic's still in that limbo right now.
Yeah. Don't tell the community. They're very passionate.
I mean, it's one of those things I will say, like, with Old Republic, I feel like if it wasn't canon, or somehow it's like, if it is canon, then they would have stopped working on it. Like, I feel like they would have not added more content, or anything, because, like, they stopped the Legend books, so I continue
Old
this
Republic.
Legends.
I don't know. I won't believe it until it's confirmed. But I see what you're saying. Like, you know.
Yeah, I still think Old Republic's still somewhat canon, even if it's not confirmed yet. I still think it's part of it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. I know there's always rumors that they're going to do like an Old Republic movie or show or something. So at some point it'll come to the surface.
Yeah. So him and everyone get carried to the village. All the villagers show up. All the kids like adore Baby Yoda.
Yeah, the little girl. She's like, "Can I feed him?" Like he's a pet.
Yeah, like gives him shrooms.
Yeah. And then they go off to play and during that time, the Mandalorian meets this woman, the mother of this little girl. And they get to chatting. And let's see, she brings him some food, and then this is what she asks him. She starts to ask him about his helmet, which I thought was a very interesting conversation, yeah. Like, she asked him, when was the last time you took your helmet off? And he was like, oh, yesterday. And she was like, no, when did you take it off in front of someone? And he says, then they look out the window and they see all the children playing together. And he's like, no, not since I was much older than them.
Yeah.
And he explains how,
this is the way.
This is the way. Yeah, like that time, like the Mandalorians took him in. So,
yeah. Which I will say, like, how they say it's like, have you ever taken off your helmet, or has anyone taken off your helmet from you? And basically, if he's, gosh, he looked like he was about maybe 10 in the Clone Wars era. So we're 5 years after Return of the Jedi, which is 25 years after Revenge of the Sith. Give or take 2 years, so he's almost 40 now.
Look at you doing math. I'm like whatever. I can't. He's had it on a long time. There's my math.
And he's been, masked for longer than Vader.
Yeah.
And somebody's actually like, somebody brought this up, it's like, why, so this is a kind of a tradition Mandalorians are doing now, even though Mandalorians clearly, like in the Clone Wars, have been fine with taking off their helmets. So maybe it's like this certain tribe's attitude about it, or maybe this is like an old tradition that they're trying to bring back into their way of life.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like,
sort of thing.
Yeah, was it a tradition? Is it certain people, or did something change? Is there a particular reason why now all of a sudden they don't take the helmet off?
Yeah. Why this is their way.
Yeah. This is the way. This is the way. Let's see. Let's check the chat. Let's see. If you think of it from Baby Yoda's perspective, he's being fed. He just got taken to a resort town with a hand servant. He's living the life. Exactly.
Having all the fun.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So, so they talk about the helmet. And then I thought it was, I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool. So, like, then she leaves so that he can eat in private. And they kind of, like, have this scene of him, like, looking out at the kids. And the helmet, you don't see his upper body, you just see the helmet suddenly being placed beside him. And I don't know about you, but I'm, like, looking at it, and I'm like, can we see his reflection?
Yeah. I'll say, this is one of those things that's like, yeah, I don't show my face to anybody. Here, let me sit in front of a window.
That's true, too. Like, I obviously wasn't too worried about anybody seeing him.
Better hope nobody looks this way.
Or anybody could have walked in. I mean, there was no door.
Yeah. But I didn't,
that would have been awkward.
He does have to take off the helmet to eat and drink or whatever he has to do.
Yeah. He must smell.
Maybe. Maybe he washes it.
Maybe he's got some, like, powder or air freshener in there. Who knows?
He's got to shave at some point.
Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he's full bearded.
Full on beard, yeah.
He's just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe.
Maybe he keeps it braided. One never knows. Maybe he's got, like, the Mandalorian symbol shaved in there.
Yeah. That was a very, let me see, chat.
Continue. Like I said, I giggle very easily. Okay. So, why is the stream offline?
What?
The stream just stopped. Oh, wait.
See us? Chat, see us? We good?
It went off, and now it's back on. That was so weird. It's back. Okay.
Okay.
Crash, this is the way. We're good now. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Hopefully that doesn't bog you, like, mess up the video.
I don't think so, because it didn't stop recording.
Okay.
I see, like, the timer is still going, so we're good. That was weird. Okay, but yeah, no, everybody says it's good. Okay, so then next scene, Kara and the Mandalorian start tracking the raiders.
Yeah.
So
they started walking through the forest, looking for footprints and such.
Mm-hmm. And then
a big, giant footprint.
Yeah, and they're like, that's an ATST.
Yeah.
Mike, the Star Wars toy collector. Hey, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. So they see that, and then the next scene, you see the Mandalorian talking to the villagers, and he's like, "Bad news, you can't live here anymore."
Yep, I love that. Like, as soon as I saw them like walk through the forest, and like I saw the tree branches, I was like, I know what that is. I know what that is.
You did. You see, I was like,
And then, with the lady who was like ATS, he was like, yeah.
You know your Star Wars.
Yep. And then of course we get to that, and he was like, yeah, you're all gonna die.
And she's like, I could do it better, but she really wasn't much better.
It's like, I know how to fight these things, and I don't want to fight this thing.
Yeah, they were like, they knew what it would take, and they were trying to explain to them, we've seen them wipe out like all of these, people and do such damage, and we don't have an army, it's just the two of us, and they're like, well, teach us how to fight. Which was also very similar to that episode in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, we get the episode where it's like, the teacher teach the villagers to fight, stand on their own, and all that. And
yeah, like we see them. One of the first things they explain is, like Kara explains, okay, we're gonna like dig this hole, like where the water, like by the water or whatever. We're gonna like dig it really deep to try and trap the ATST. And then like we're gonna cut down the trees and we're gonna make a barricade.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will say this. For when they were cutting down the trees, it's like, yeah, cut down the trees, trip the walker, do what the Ewoks did. You know how to fight. Like, the Ewoks know how to fight.
There you go, you're right.
The Ewoks may be primitive, but they had the right idea.
Exactly. Let's see. Let me just read the chat for a second. Mike, careful, Kappa is coming. Oh, they're talking about Kappa.
Yeah.
Countdown to episode 9.
That would have been kind of cool.
Run, get away from Kappa. Yeah, we trust in the Force. LOL, there is no Kappa. I don't know. I've been watching. I guess we could talk about that another time. But yeah, I've been trying to do my research on it. I'm still undecided.
If you're there for now, hopefully.
Yeah.
Big people will take care of it.
Yeah, it seems like some people are trying to fight against it. I wanted to be a Rancor with laser turrets on its back. Take that, Dr. Evil. All right. Okay, so let's see. Got done trees, build barricades.
Training situation with all the villagers.
Yeah, they teach them how to fight with sticks, and then they ask, okay, does anybody here know how to shoot? And Omer, like, what role did he play? Was he a soldier? That he taught her how to fight to protect herself or something.
Are they ex-Imperials? Are they ex-Rebellions? Are they just freedom fighters? Like, what's her past? Like, something like that. Is that
Stream.
All right?
It's back on. I don't know why it's doing this.
Yeah, you blipped for a second there. For me.
All right, it's back on now, but I don't know why. I turned that thing I was telling you about off, so I don't know why. You need to form an anti-Kappa union. I'll sign up for that. There we go.
Do you have anything written, like any other background things from?
Let me look over here on my other. I would have to check on my main screen, and I can't.
Anything else on your Wi-Fi? Any other devices?
Oh, anything? Oh my gosh, you have no idea what I got running on this Wi-Fi. I got security cameras. I was just saying the other day, I need to get my internet people over here, and I need to up my internet. I'm gonna have to get like the top notch. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so All right, so she's the only one who knows how to shoot, but they equip all of them with guns anyway. Um,
Yeah, that was a nice. I like how I enjoy. I like that moment where it's like we see all the other farmers and they're kind of hitting their targets, they're kind of missing, then she just
she's like, "Phew, gotcha, phew, gotcha."
like hits like every single like dead center bullseye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if it's Mando or somebody else, but it's just like that, like does that little look.
There were. I mean, it's a little controversial, but there were some people I saw on Twitter who were um,
Oh,
like
yeah,
mad.
back.
They were mad
Uh,
about
what is wrong with you people? Why can't you let women be bad? Why do you not want badass women? What is wrong?
exactly. Yeah, there were some people that were mad. They were like, "Oh, I find it hard to believe in the whole village. There's only one woman who knows how to fight. How come like it's not a man or whatever? Like, like they felt like Disney was once again trying to make a statement about like they feel like they're pushing like this female agenda.
Blasters.
What's that?
It's I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like it's Star Wars. It shouldn't be that out of the blue.
Yeah, like Star Wars has always had strong female characters.
A galactic war.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, there's still battles going on.
Yeah. Yeah, and Star Wars since the beginning has never shied away from having strong female characters. I mean, we had Princess Leia, then General Organa, and yeah,
Ahsoka,
yeah, like
all these great characters.
It's I feel like okay, yes, like the original trilogy and the prequels, they had a male lead, but there were still all these strong female characters. So like this isn't something new.
No character took away from any other character. They all worked together to build upon. It was all, in a weird way, Star Wars is more about team effort than it is about individual sort of thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And this was just like she's like she wasn't even the main character. She's like the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda are the main characters. Like she was just a side character, something like subtly on the side,
Like how we're talking about it. It's like she's interesting. Like I want to know more about her.
Right. Like I feel like there was a specific reason why this happened. Like this wasn't Disney pushing up their purpose, this female agenda. This was like, okay, there's a backstory here, I think, and we're going to find out more about that, and I'm sure there's going to be something more to it that's going to add to either the main plot or future plot. That's what I think.
It was moving on from that. So we got a really nice scene with the training and what was her name? Is it Gina or Kira? Kara. Her, like she's helping with their sticks and spears, and like you hold it like this, like you got it.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. So yeah, we see that. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna just move on to the next scene.
Oh yeah, the next scene is them sneaking in.
Yeah. So Kara and Mando go after the raiders. They knock out a couple guys sitting outside, and then they like sneak into this tent, and they put they set like an explosive.
A thermal detonator or detonation charge. Or something
yeah.
Like that to take out the camp.
Yeah, and then like as they're about to leave,
camp guys walk in.
Yeah. And so then, like they all start coming in like one by one, two by two, and they've got to like take them out. But like this detonator is like counting down. So so again, it's another one of those moments like, are they gonna make it out? Are they gonna make it out? Are they both gonna make it out? Is one of them gonna make it out? And then eventually, like, again, you see it counting down. They have no choice, but they have to like the Mando like shoots like a door open. They like make a hole in the wall with his gun or whatever.
I will say this. I'm curious why they targeted the camp. I felt like the smart decision would have been find the AT-ST first.
Yeah.
To blow that up before it was activated or whatever.
That's true. They could have activated it. Yeah.
I feel like that was a slight blunder on their plan.
Mhm. But I guess it would have taken away from the episode if they did that though. Yeah. Let's see. Mike, good live show. Have a good night. You too. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, Mr. Pete's talking about Sabine. I guess you're not a fan. I liked Sabine. I thought she was cool. Um, all right, so
Oh,
all right, so then they get out of the tent. As just as they get out of the tent, it explodes. So they get out
yeah.
just in time.
They
Um,
were, so I guess whatever was going on in there was like the shrimp beer or something. Shrimp. I guess that's what the raiders wanted was all the shrimp
oh yeah, the krill.
juice, krill juice. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
guessing that's what they were cooking.
yeah. Um, why I don't know. um, but so as soon as they get out of the tent, like that's when we get the first glimpse of the
Yeah.
ATST, and it was scary looking.
Yeah, like
The
that was
red eyes.
red eyes and the kind of war paint or whatever they had on their own kind of
Yeah, it was like it was almost like I don't know, it had this like zombie ATST look
kind
to
of
it.
stripes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of and since yeah this was a group of alien raiders. So this ATST it wasn't Imperials.
Hmm.
This wasn't an Imperial group. This is just probably like a group of pirates or raiders who found an ATST.
Yeah.
Yep, with them.
Yeah, and revamped it and whatnot for their own use.
Yeah,
They blew up shrimp beer.
shrimp sarsaparilla.
Yeah. Shrimp shine. um all right, so then they head back towards the village. So now when Mando and Kara are trying to like as they head back to the village, they're trying to like lure the ATST into that hole in the ground that they made, like
Yeah.
by the water in the river.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't know what the plan was. I wasn't sure, but again, it's like I was wondering, like, so they wanted to get, I just wanted to get close, which, again, this feels like this kind of plan is, there's a lot of like little details that I feel like are blunders,
mhm.
because it's like, okay, you're bringing your ATST, which can shoot from any, like, as far as it needs to. It's towering over.
Mhm.
It doesn't need to get close at all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess they were trying to their plan was to lure it into the what do you call it?
The village.
Yes, lure it to the
Water.
village, get it in that hole. Um,
It worked. It did work. That was a nice plan. It's just I feel like there were better ideas.
I agree. I mean, I'm sure that was all, for the purpose of the plot. Um, it's for the story they had in mind. But yeah, like any one of us could have come up with a better way to get rid of this thing. Or yeah, even in Empire Strikes Back with the AT-AT.
That's the walkers.
Yeah. What did Luke do? Didn't he like tie?
Yeah,
He also tied. Yeah.
Tow cable. That was the tow cable idea, and then there was he ran up behind one and thermal detonator.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Reactor or whatever.
See, so you know what? They should have learned from Luke.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of was hoping in Last Jedi when we saw the walkers, the new walkers that we were getting.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping we'd see improvements to the walkers, like they would be able to like turn
Uh-huh.
or something like they had side cannons. Like it's always one of these things where it's like, how can you improve upon this design?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but yeah, it was nice and yeah, the ATST. This was actually the first again. Like we've seen a lot of ATSTs in other media, like in video games and in like movies. The only other time I think we've seen it in a movie was Rogue One. And that was a short moment. And then Rebels had like a couple of ATSTs or AT walkers, shorts, two-legged walkers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is one of the few times where this thing was scary.
Yeah.
It was coming at you.
Yeah, it's like stuff with nightmares. It was it was pretty scary looking. I thought.
It's like if I was a rebel soldier, this is not something I would want to face.
Mm-mm. No, even as a villager, I wouldn't want to face it. But they had their plan. So their plan was to lure it and to trap it into like make it fall into that hole. But and this was one of the questions I had. So like, it was able to like sense that there was like a gap.
I don't. I don't think it was able to sense it. I think it's just that it decided to not keep walking because it didn't need to. Like, it just decided to stop at a certain moment, and um, because also it couldn't see any villagers, so it was like I think it expected a trap, but it didn't know what the trap was. So
Okay.
like checking this.
I thought that was weird because it was like it put its foot out, like it was just about to step down, and I was like, oh, maybe it can sense that there's no ground. So that's what confused me. But I get, yeah. But then like next thing you do, you see he shines the light and it starts looking.
Yeah.
Like it's looking.
I thought what their plan was to like they had some electricity or something that like EMP that they could walk. I didn't realize they had dug it deeper for the to walk, which is actually really clever. Like
yeah.
If a bunch of people just start walking, it's actually like, oh.
Yeah. But I mean, really, at that time when it was distracted, like someone could have snuck around with the thermal detonator and like climbed underneath it and just did it, and then it would have blown up and it would have been it.
Yeah.
But what do we know?
But yeah, then we get this little moment where the trying to pull it in. Then the army or whatever the group of bandits come in and start attacking, and everybody turns into a firefight.
Yeah, you see them put to use all the like everything that they learned. So like they're shooting, they're sticking, and trying to take all these people out. Amara gets a couple guys, and
the ATSD blows up one of their houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Baby Yoda and the kids were in there.
Yeah. Poor Baby Yoda. And so, like, they see that their efforts aren't really working for this ATST, so Kara gets an idea.
Yeah. She takes Mando's
the pulse rifle.
Yeah. And goes makes a break before it charges it and hides it in the water, trying to lure it in forward.
Yeah. And it took some effort. Eventually, it took some effort. It didn't happen right away, but eventually she was able to.
She eventually shoots something
inside,
and it causes it to take a step forward.
Yeah, and then it falls over, and then the Mandalorian comes around,
throws another charge inside, and finishes it off, and then that's when all the pirates and everybody are like, oh, okay, I guess we lost our main cannon, so let's get out of here.
Yeah, finally like scared them off. I would think they would come back though at some point, but I don't know.
Like I will say that's one of those things where it's like, okay, like obviously the Mandalorian's not going to leave his guns with the villagers, so
yeah, what are they going to do to defend themselves?
Like, what is he going to do when he leaves?
Yeah.
I mean, he does. Like after that, he does stay a couple of weeks. Like he does say like it's been a couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
So nothing's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say it was like, it's kind of like that. There was a deleted scene in The Last Jedi. There was a deleted scene where Luke and the villagers. Like there's that one scene where Rey sees she thinks are pirates or something.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, if you stop those raiders from raiding that village, they'll come back with double their forces, and you won't be here to stop them.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of what ran through my head. It's like, okay, so they stopped this attack, but will they be here next one?
Yeah, with greater numbers.
Yeah. So
well, maybe that's how we get part 2.
Yeah. But yeah, so they do stay a couple of extra weeks, and it's been pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian feels like it's time for him to head out, and he plans to leave Baby Yoda with the kid, with the family, like a place that feels safe enough.
Yeah, and I was when we see that scene, I was like, no, I don't want this to be over for Baby Yoda. I'm not ready to say goodbye. And he has this conversation with Omera. He's asking her to watch over him. She's like, I'll take care of him as one of my own.
She's actually also asking him to stay.
Yeah.
She says you could just live here. You can keep your armor, and hidden away, but just in case. But it doesn't mean you have to leave.
Yeah.
You can live with us.
Yeah. And it's funny. You almost like, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. I felt like I sensed a little like he was kind of thinking about it, but I think it's like the Mandalorian
life is way. It's been his life for so long that it's just a part of him.
Yeah.
But I think deep down he does desire something normal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. It's just, yeah, being a Mandalorian is so much ingrained in him. But yeah, but yet there is this part of him that's like, oh, it would be nice to have a nice, quiet, normal life, and but she goes to so like as like before he gives his answer, she kind of like leans in and she puts her hands on his helmet, and she starts to take it off.
Yeah.
But he stops her, and just as he stops her, you know,
there's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, there's a bounty hunter hiding in the woods, zeroing in on Baby Yoda, and we're like, no.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I almost did fall for it.
Me too.
I thought the mom was gonna die. I thought the mom was gonna get shot somehow, like the arm, like maybe they would try to shoot the Mandalorian, but the arm would bounce off and hit her or something like that. Or one of the kids was like the daughter was gonna get shot.
Yeah, I had
the crossfire.
I had those theories running in my mind too. In those matter of seconds, it's like all these stories run through your head. I wondered, oh my god, like what if they killed the mother, and then he has to take the two kids. Then he has to take Baby Yoda and the little girl on with him, and be like a, like.
And it makes me like that also did cross my mind. Maybe that was gonna happen.
If Baby Yoda stopped the shot, oh man, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
But oh, bye Brando. That would have been interesting, but I guess they're probably saving his next big moment for another time.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's the main character.
Baby Yoda's main character. Seriously, we name Baby Yoda story.
I told you guys about this. It's the Yoda-Lorian.
The Yoda-Lorian. That's like their celebrity dating name. Someone else said that too. MXC. Yeah, it would have been interesting. But yeah, the Mandalorian's just kind of a side character.
So, Kara takes out the bounty hunter.
Yes, surprise, surprise. I did not see that coming. Like, that caught me off guard. That, she I wonder, though, how did she know? Like, how did she see or sense? I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Maybe she was just in perimeter watch.
Yeah.
And just happened across him.
Yeah.
Which, again, I will say, it's like, it does feel like the Mando, we don't know how the fobs work.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been a couple of weeks, so maybe the noise they made about the village got word somewhere outside that there was a Mandalorian on the planet. But it does feel like the Mando should have known that this was gonna happen. That's like some bounty hunter was gonna find the kid.
Yeah.
Like he needs to find, like, until he can find some way to figure out how the fobs work. That like there's some chip or something.
Mm-hmm.
Until he can somehow get that off of Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is still gonna be tracked and hunted on.
Yeah.
Like unless you can find one of the furthest backwater planets you can go, they're still gonna be looking for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with I'm sure there's with such a big bounty. I'm sure. Yeah, people are gonna do whatever they have to do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, I thought they were focusing on Baby Yoda a bit too much, says Daniel. Oh, really? There's no such thing as too much Baby Yoda. All right. So, let's see what else.
So, Baby Yoda is safe. Bounty's down.
And he realizes he has to take Baby Yoda with him.
Yeah, he has to leave.
Yeah. Oh my God, that scene when the little girl says goodbye to Baby Yoda, and Baby Yoda has to say goodbye to her. Oh my God. And his ears go down.
It's so cute.
And he's just looking around like this. It was so. Oh my gosh, that got me. That got me all choked up. I thought that was really sad. He just looks so sad.
Yeah, it was such a sad moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see in the chat. There's I think that's what it is tracking, which is very annoying.
The fob's gonna be tracking his Yoda DNA.
Yeah. Which is, that's a problem.
Maybe they can change his DNA.
Clone.
Yeah, there you go. They'll clone Baby Yoda, and then they'll track.
Different DNA of Baby Yoda.
Mm.
Okay, so him and Kara, both decide it's time to head out, time to leave.
Yeah.
So they all head out, make their way. And again, the village is now kind of target because it's the last known Mando location.
That's true.
So I'm kind of worried about that.
Well, that could be what brings him back there. Maybe word gets back to him at some point that they were, I lost my train of thought. Maybe that's what will make him come back in another episode. Like word will get back to him about more attacks being there because people are looking for him and Baby Yoda. But that's something he has to consider now. Is that like, because I'm sure there's gonna be more episodes. It's gonna be more episodes of him like helping people. He has to really consider like where he goes because he's obviously gonna be bringing like destruction wherever he goes because of what he has. This whole I feel like you would see this. This whole thing kind of reminded me a little bit of like the Doctor, like people traveling with the Doctor, like like he always says, it's dangerous traveling with me. And like everybody around him, dies or suffers or
something bad. Wherever he goes, there's always something to deal with.
Yeah.
That can threaten the lives of the people around him.
Right. So especially since he has this thing that he has to protect, this kid, people are always going to be out to kill him and get him and get the baby. So he needs to really think about where he stays and who he helps because they will then become a target.
So, yeah, that's the episode. That's the halfway point of this, and I believe.
You're right. So after today, there's 4 more episodes. The last episode being the week that The Rise of Skywalker comes out.
Yeah.
So.
Rise of Skywalker and Mandalorian possible talks that same week.
Yeah.
And now, it was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Like we were saying earlier, it was like a little different than it's kind of like a little breather from like the main plot that's been going on, but yet it's still added to like we got to learn more about his character. We understand a little bit more about his childhood, the helmet, what he can and can't do, and
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we live. I looked for a second.
Oh yeah, well on my end we're still live.
Okay.
We're blurry, but we're live.
Okay, so now it's time for chat and you us questions.
Yay! I look forward to your weekly questions.
Okay. If you were to introduce to somebody who has never seen Star Wars, what is the first episode you would show them? Would you show them episode 1? Would you show them episode 4? Would you which order of showing Star Wars would you go?
Personally, okay, now I grew up with the originals, with the original trilogy, so without question, to me there's no question, like, you show something the order that it was released in, because I feel like it adds to, so it would be episode 4, A New Hope, because to me it adds to the build-up, like the suspense, if you start with episode 1, there's no, like, big shocker of,
Well,
I don't think so. Luke being his father, Anakin being Luke's father, like, you lose that.
Yeah, that's the one. But here,
No.
I'm kind of like this other way where I actually think doing the numbered way kind of gives you this other view where it's like, okay, you like you think it's almost like, of course, the knowledge of who Darth Vader and Anakin and all this stuff, like that's kind of hard to avoid, so it's very rare to not get something. But for somebody who's probably never seen or heard anything of Star Wars, the twist that Anakin becomes a bad guy is kind of like not something you see coming if you had never seen Star Wars before, and also you.
That's interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Also, yeah. I kind of if I'm ever watching Star Wars, I do it by number instead of by by release order, because it's always release order. It's also another way. It's like, since people feel like the prequels aren't as good as the originals, I feel like, well, why don't you start with the least liked and make your way up to the best? Like, you get this whole build up to a great Return of the Jedi finale.
I love how you're totally leaving out the new trilogy. Because when you were like, it gets better, and I'm like, you remember there was a new trilogy, right? Nothing against the new trilogy. I'm just saying, popular belief is
the original saga story.
Gotcha.
That was built up. Yeah. There's actually another way. Okay, if I was to ever find somebody who's never seen Star Wars, and I was going to introduce them to it, I would actually show them Rogue One first. Like, that would be like the first way to introduce, because
it's kind of in the middle.
It's kind of in the middle. You still get the same kind of like the A New Hope. You're thrown right in the middle of this, no idea how it started or where it's gonna go. But yeah, they're thrown right in the middle, and it kind of shows the tactics of the Empire and the Rebellion. Like, it shows both sides kind of in this, like, it shows how the Empire works and shows how the Rebellion works, and the Empire looks very threatening in this one, because many of the rebels die in this.
Yeah.
Like, they throw everything at this, and they still almost barely succeed.
Yeah.
So it really shows how much of a struggle it is for the Rebellion to win this victory.
Yeah.
And it enhances A New Hope. And can you imagine somebody's, like, who's never seen Star Wars before, this is the first reaction to Darth Vader and the Force and lightsabers?
Oh, man.
Every other time they would see Vader afterward in A New Hope and Empire and all that, it'd be like, they know what he can do. Like, it'd be like, oh, no.
That.
And you don't want to get. So yeah,
that's
my first. That's what I would do to somebody who's never seen Star Wars. I'd throw them Rogue One first.
I feel like I would be okay with that. I would show somebody Rogue One before I would have them start with, like, Episode 1. Because I feel like, Rogue One, it kind of takes place between the two trilogies. And, it's a good way to show, the Empire and the Rebels. And Darth Vader has his big entrance at the end when he's like, again.
Did we?
We did. Hold on.
No.
Okay, we're back.
What we were talking about? Yeah, I grew up with the originals. Like, and I will say, I almost kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes you wish you hadn't Star Wars when you were a kid. Because you didn't quite understand the story when you're a kid, when you're young.
Yeah.
So I almost wish if I could just erase my memory of Star Wars for a little bit and watch it for the first time now.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, so yeah, it's one of those things, man, I wish I'd watched Star Wars when I could understand it better.
Yeah, I know what you mean. My sister's going through this right now with my nephew. My nephew is 3 years old, and although he'll be 4 in another month, he's only allowed to see Episode 4. That's it. So he's not allowed to watch The Empire Strikes Back until he's older, like old enough to understand, like to experience the impact of finding out that Darth Vader is Luke's father. Spoiler alert. So because we grew up with Star Wars and we never really we were so young, we never really had the shock value of
Which, okay, it is actually kind of funny because even as a kid, watched episode 1 for the first time, and I didn't realize that was a prequel as a kid. The concept of a prequel is
Right.
I didn't quite think it like that. So
Yeah.
I actually thought that it was a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, so there's something.
Yeah.
My uncle, it finally clicked where it was like, oh, he's younger. So this is before. But even then, it's one of those things where it's even George Lucas, I think, talked about this. Or even the ideas when Vader revealed he's Luke's father. There are some people who are just not going to believe it.
Yeah.
Think Vader's lying.
Yeah.
And so for me as a kid, when my dad would tell me that little boy Anakin Skywalker was going to become Darth Vader, I was like, no, he's not. He's not. So it's I just refused to accept it for a long time until I think it was Attack of the Clones was the first time I was like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to see it.
Yeah, it's crazy to think what he starts as and what he turns into.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. I want to see what everybody in the chat thinks. So I'm going to scroll back up. Let's see. Okay, Mr. Pete says first episode 1, then 4.
Do you mean the prequels and then the
yeah.
originals, or do you mean 1 and then 4? That's kind of a
that would be interesting. Yes, please.
Have you heard of the machete order?
I have. And I don't remember what it is, but I remember seeing it.
It's episode 1, or not episode 1, episode 4. It's A New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back, and then you flash back to the prequels, and then you jump back to Return of the Jedi, and such.
That would be fun. Okay, so Daniel is saying either Clone Wars or episode 4, which to start with. Okay, it's interesting. Wait. Oh, Mr. P clarified Rogue One, then episode 1.
Then 4, then 5, then 2, then 3, then 6.
That's similar to what you were saying with Machete Order.
Brando, you missed the chat question I presented, and I believe. If you were to show somebody Star Wars for the first time, where would you start? Episode 1, episode prequels or the originals? Or, that's the kind of question. Where would you start showing somebody Star Wars if they've never seen it before?
I love what MXC says. I wouldn't show them anything. I don't associate with heretical persons. They don't deserve to be shown the light. Also, I don't want to explain laser swords and how they work.
People can't learn if they aren't taught.
Yes. You could be their Jedi Master. You could be their Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
If you don't want to save this...
Educate.
Yeah. Daniel asks, if you don't want to save this for a video inspector, what are your top 3 movies? So, what's your top 3 Star Wars movies?
Okay, I was just about to ask, is that movies, or is that Star Wars movies?
I'm going to guess Star Wars. Daniel's big on ranking his Star Wars movies. Rogue One, I'd show them last.
Okay, wait,
Brando says I started showing one of my friends the Clone Wars first, and he actually likes it. Oh, that's a cool idea. Start with that.
Yeah, Clone Wars, I think, is actually a good, again, it's Clone Wars is just another part of the prequels. And, yeah, I guess I could say, I always want, because people always look for the Darth Vader reveal, sort of thing, the Darth Vader reveal reaction, sort of thing. I always want to see the people's reaction. There's only one I've ever seen, but I always want to see people's reaction to when, the fall of Anakin.
Yeah.
If you think about Anakin's supposed to be this icon, this hero, Jedi, this great Jedi that he is.
A sense of frustration, because Anakin, and Hayden Christensen as well, Anakin Skywalker, his character got so much hate because of the way he was portrayed in like the movies and all this and that. And I was like, oh my gosh, if people just watch the Clone Wars, like they would totally understand him so much better and why he fell the way he did. And you know, you know, it was more than just Padme. It was also like, you know, his Ahsoka
Yeah.
left him, and like, oh yeah, all this stuff going on with the Jedi. Like it was so many
Palpatine's
things.
influence.
Palpatine's influence. You really saw there was like a build up with that throughout the show.
His,
Um,
his mother and like just his history and his attachments. And there's
mm,
just so much that there's so much to it that
yeah.
yeah that a lot gets glossed over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've met so many people who have not watched the show, and you know, they I don't know, they don't know. I think they don't know what they're missing. So
Yeah.
it definitely you
Yeah,
know, adds
I
to it.
agree. I was kind of like the same. I was like, I didn't. I mean, it was back in the early season. You know, it's a cartoon. It was a cool cartoon. It's a very well done cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't. But you know, some of it there's like until later. Some some of it's really like became really good, like really well done, really.
Yeah.
And there is somebody who's mentioned or said something like this, like because there's a like they were asked a question like what is the best of Star Wars or something like that, and somebody said okay, like they said they kind of like not in a serious way, but it was more like you know the best of Star Wars isn't the movies, it's everything around it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like
Yeah.
sometimes the movies aren't the best, but the movies are telling one story, whereas there's so much else around Star Wars that is like lore,
Mm-hmm.
like myths, and just there's so much more epicness
Yeah.
than just the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So the movies are great and all, but even they aren't the best.
Right.
Like there's some things that are even better than the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Um. Apparently, it's a big deal. So fine, I started watching Clone Wars. It's been all right so far. Well, I'm glad you started watching it. I missed some people's the order that they want. Let me see. Well, Daniel listed his. Okay, Daniel says episodes 4, 5, 6, Battlefront,
Okay.
Mandalorian, 7, 8,
You mean 2005 Battlefront, right, Daniel? We
7, 8. Yeah, I know, right? It's like I feel weird calling him Daniel. It's we. 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, Clone Wars, 3, Fallen Order, Solo, Rebel. Wait, is this your order of favorites, or is this the order
I
you
was
would
gonna
show
say that's a
people?
lot. That's all over the place.
That's like a machete to machete. um, Also, there's a lot of series currently under development. If they are as good as Mandalorian, there'll be so many good things in the future. But I would like a series on Ahsoka. Me too. Um, Daniel's like, it's not all over the place. It's the order. This is the way. One of my other friends just started watching Clone Wars and she's really enjoying it. Very cool. Just added shows games in for fun. All right, cool.
Yeah,
They,
I'll have to
that's a fun bird.
chat games and shows and
What about comics? You want to throw some comics in there too? Okay.
yeah.
But yes, yeah. So no, if I I would have to start with episode 4 for anybody. Yeah. Anything else to me is just this is the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just like, I'm always like looking for how some people would experience. Like, what is the like? I'm always looking for what is the best way to have somebody experience this story for the
Mhm.
first time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Star Wars is so big, it's rare to find somebody who has no idea what the story's about. So
Yeah.
detail. So
I'm gonna say I don't really hang out with people who don't watch Star Wars. So I've never had to do this to anybody. um,
no kids.
no kids, no. But yeah, no, like I said, I have my nephew. My sister is like very hardcore, like episode 4. That's it until he's like old enough. I don't know the age at what point he'll be allowed to watch The Empire Strikes Back, but yeah, no, he's gonna
Oh
be doing
yeah,
it.
and you have to like keep that. You have to, then it's one of those things where I feel like, man, I feel I almost feel bad because like you should keep your kids friends. Like if you're like whatever kid has friends, they want to share Star Wars talks. It's like no, I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
And then one day someone's gonna drop the bomb on him, like so nonchalantly. Oh yeah, isn't it crazy how Darth Vader is, Luke's father? My nephew's gonna be like, what? It's gonna be like finding out about Santa Claus.
If you can't like wait till he's a teen or something like that, he'll be on the internet or something by then.
I'm hoping by the time he's like maybe 8,
Yeah, 8.
another
Feels
4
good
years.
enough.
I feel like
Close
that's
enough.
yeah, that should be decent. Maybe 7. I don't know. There was before I knew about her rule. There was one day I was watching
Watch
him,
almost.
and yeah, before I knew the rules, he was over one day, and I was watching him, and I put The Empire Strikes Back on, and I was like so amazed. I was like, wow, he's really into it. Like his eyes were like glued, and um, I was like, wow, he's like it's like almost like he's never seen it before. Like, and I just assumed that she showed him The Empire Strikes Back, and at one point she texted me like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just watching Star Wars." She was like in all caps, like, "I hope that he's not watching anything other than Episode 4. He's not allowed." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're just watching Episode 4. No problem." I'm gonna turn the TV off and.
I was gonna say, how far did you get?
Oh, it wasn't too far, but it was far enough. What's that? It was like I think they were still on Hoth, so I think they were. It was like the battle on Hoth. So I think that was about as far as they got. Maybe Dagobah. I don't remember. But yeah, I was like, nope. I almost got in big trouble.
Again, it's one of those things like, man, I know that the reaction to those kids is that these kids or whatever are going to be great, but it feels bad to keep them away from it.
Yeah. Did you ever watch reaction videos on YouTube, like parents showing their kids the first time, like The Empire Strikes Back, and the moment when they find out about Darth Vader, they're like,
Yeah,
really?
I've seen a lot of them.
I like
Yeah,
those.
like I said, like, there's only one that actually has somebody who's watched Revenge of the Sith first, and like, so this girl like freaking out, is like, no, Anakin, don't.
Aww. Maybe he changes his mind. No.
And I think the thing is, like, she knew Darth Vader existed.
Uh-huh.
She didn't know Anakin was Darth Vader.
Oh.
So it's like that was the big reveal to her.
You know what? I never see like what you were talking about before, like different perspectives. I never thought of it like that. That the big shocker being like Anakin, like finding out that Anakin is Darth Vader. Like
Yeah.
it's one thing. Like I guess it's one thing to be shocked that Anakin turns bad, but to find out that he turns into Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I didn't get that before. I got that now. That would be a shocker. That's interesting.
Do you watch other reaction videos like that? Do you ever like look up other channels?
Like reaction videos in general?
Yeah, or like to Star Wars or anything.
Not really. I'd only watch like reaction videos of people who like I'm like friends with online on in this world in this YouTube world. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not one to go ahead and watch reaction videos. It's not my thing. But the ones about the kids watching like finding out about Darth Vader, like that intrigued me.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't. How about you?
Yeah, I follow like a ton of reaction channels.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you remember that episode of not episode, there was like this mini episode of Doctor Who, which was like when Doctor's like explaining to Amy, like he's been everywhere, so he's seen everything, and it kind of becomes, normal to him and boring and stuff. So that's why he grabs companions, because when companions see something for the first time, he needs to re-experience that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think I like about reaction videos. You get to kind of almost re-experience the experience that you've already kind of either seen or haven't seen for something that you watched. So what's their reaction to this moment or that moment or their character or that character, like all these things. So it's always
That's interesting.
and then if I'm like, and then there's people, some people like record audience reactions in theaters to movies. It's always cool to listen to how the audience reacts to said movie. Like, where do they laugh? Where do they cry? Does
Mm-hmm.
anybody scream?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's cool. I guess I never really thought about it like that. I guess I never got um I don't know, maybe if it was like a particular video that I was like really passionate about. I don't know. I know like which one did I react to? Scene 38 reimagined. I don't know if did you see that?
I
Someone
think my dad just got seen. Oh no yeah.
from when
Scene 38, the Darth Vader versus.
yeah, yeah.
Obi-Wan.
That was actually that may have been the first reaction video I ever did. But I remember like that was really big at the time. Like a lot of people were watching like other people's reactions like to that. Um, but something like that, like I would enjoy watching, like because that was something I was really into. Like, um,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess for me it depends on what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's like a bunch of channels that like they do reactions to TV episodes like
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Who,
Yeah.
Star Wars and such. That's um I only look ones that actually do like show reactions. So I'm not like looking for people who react to everything or every video.
Mm-hmm.
Like unless the video is like something that interests me or something.
Right.
Like the C38 and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of my idea about looking for reaction channels or
Mm-hmm.
something to that.
Oh, cool. All right, let's check in with the chat here. Let's see. MXC. When are we going to get a show on Max Rebo and his days traveling the galaxy, playing in one dive to the next? Can be Seinfeld style. I don't know what that is.
Max Rebo. That's Jabba's band, I think, right?
Oh, explain yourself,
Yeah.
MXC. Um.
Max Rebo, a Star Wars story.
um.
So the rock band.
Let's see. Oh, Brando says he didn't start watching until he was 7, and Daniel said he didn't start watching until much later. Oh, that's so interesting. Like I grew, so I've been watching Star Wars. What's that?
They're kind of lucky in a way.
Yeah, because you probably appreciate it more. Yeah, I grew. I mean, I like literally since I was a toddler. Like because growing up, I grew up in the days of VHS players. My sister and I only had like I probably count on one hand the number of VHS tapes we had, and one of them was Star Wars. So my sister learned how to work the VCR at the age of 3. I was a year and a half at the time. So literally, I've been watching Star Wars since I was a year and a half. Because it was like one of, like I said, 5 tapes that we had, and
Okay, so I kind of have not really, like it's kind of a sad story, but it's
aw,
so the original trilogy got re-released in special edition for the theaters.
mm-hmm.
Um, I was not interested in watching it.
Uh-huh.
I was too busy focused on like the posters or something.
Uh-huh.
My grandma or my parents, like family, my grandparents like watched me in the like lobby while my parents would go upstairs. So I didn't actually get to go into the theater.
Oh my.
I was too distracted. I didn't want to sit and be quiet.
Aw, you missed out. How old were you?
Like 3.
Aw. Aw, you missed out. Yeah, I remember when it was re-released.
I would have remembered it anyways.
Right, you were so young. Yeah, it's young for a kid at that age to watch, like to sit for 2 hours.
The first time I can remember anything was that film.
Yeah,
And then onward, it's kind of a blur, but still.
yeah. I remember I only when it was re-released, I only saw A New Hope. I got to see A New Hope re-release, which was just awesome. It was so exciting to see that in the theater. I really wish they would. I don't know why. Like, They like at least out where I am, they don't put out like old movies like Star Wars,
Okay.
you know. And I live in New York, like like New York City. Like you would think there would be more theaters that show older movies. Like Star Wars. I mean, I know a lot of Star Wars fans out here, and like I feel like something like that would make a lot of money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd go every weekend. P. Beckus, hey, what's up?
Yeah. That's it. I really think I remember like during there was the Force when the Force Awakens came out. There was like somewhere a theater was showing like it was a full day thing
Wow,
showing all the movies, and then when they finished the shows, it was going to be Force Awakens. That was the premiere night.
that's
Force Awakens.
awesome.
So watching Force Awakens for the first time was after. And I just I remember like wanting to see like go and find because again I still have never seen the original trilogy, big screen.
Yeah, it's an experience. Yeah, I heard from a lot of other people, like not by me, but like out, other places that yeah, right before the Force Awakens, they had like full day marathons in the theaters, which is awesome. Yeah, we didn't, as far as I know, they didn't do anything like that out by me. Um, but yeah, that's gotta be a cool experience. I wish we could all watch Star Wars together, like on a live stream, but you get in trouble.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I was gonna say like there's this one channel slash streamer girl who actually did full reactions to all of the movies
Mm-hmm.
in Clone Wars right now. Like doesn't have any she doesn't have any video though, but she does
Mm-hmm.
have the audio, which is loud enough for us to listen to. Which I've seen the movie so many times, I don't even need this picture. I can just close my eyes and
Yeah.
know exactly what's going on the screen.
So wait, so she's showing the video with
Huh?
no? She's showing the video with no audio, or it's just her reaction?
Just no video, just audio. She's watching on a TV, but
Oh.
it's like it's loud enough for us to hear what's going on.
Okay.
And it's one of those. It's just like, and she's never seen Star Wars, knows very little. In fact, have you seen Toy Story?
Yes.
Have you seen Toy Story 2?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that joke in Toy Story 2 with Zurg and he's Buzz Lightyear's father?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but that sounds vaguely familiar.
Well, like the girl hadn't seen Toy Story 2 a lot, but she didn't know that was a Star Wars joke. So when Darth Vader revealed he was Luke's father, she was like, "This is what Toy Story 2 was referencing." I like, and I almost like spit on my drink because I was just like, that's such a random thing to have to react to.
That's funny.
This big reveal and the reaction is, this is a Toy Story 2 reference.
Oh man. Um.
I'll have to. I'll maybe put it like somewhere in Discord the link to some of those reactions.
Oh yeah, definitely. You should tell me share them.
Yeah, just because. Oh gosh, the kind of weird way to say this, but one of the best ones was when Anakin showed up to the younglings. she's like, oh, the kids are so cute. She's like, wait. It's just like, oh,
Awkward.
you poor sweet sunshine.
Oh man, imagine if that was if that happened to Baby Yoda. Let's check out the chat here. MXC Frankie Alamo Draft House does old movies. They have something in Brooklyn. Lies. MXC
There's
lies.
there's an Alamo. I went to an Alamo when I went to Texas one time. It was huge and had a bunch of old, they'd show every weekend or something like an old movie,
Oh yeah.
old westerns or old Casablanca or something.
Hmm.
And I like that. I like that when theaters throw it. I think more theaters need like an old movie weekend or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be fun. Um, Not sure if that concert is close enough. I'm not saying. P. Becca's, I saw Star Wars in an old school drive-in theater in 1978. Oh, cool. When I was 7. We didn't have a cinema in my hometown. It was the best experience of my life. Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I bet you'll never forget something like that. Brando, I can post his channel that I watch Clone Wars reaction on Discord. Oh, yes, definitely share it with us.
Blind Wave?
What's that?
Brando, is that Blind Wave?
They were talking about Blind Wave before, so it could be.
Yeah. Blind Wave's a good channel. That does great
Yeah, I do follow them because did they do a film or a trailer or something? I reacted to something of theirs.
Oh! Wait, did you do a reaction to Blind Wave, like when they did the lightsaber, little thing in the street or something?
That was them, yes. Oh my gosh, my reaction. I was like, oh my god. That was awesome. MXC explains Max Rebo was the blue alien that looked part alien, played the piano thing. Gotcha.
Yeah. The little elephant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the elephant. I was wondering what happened to that band. Like, did they manage to escape before Jabba's palace and Jabba's little barge flew?
I thought you were going to ask me, like, oh, did they break up? Maybe they're on tour. Who knows?
Oh, okay. If they didn't escape, then they certainly did break up.
I'm going to guess they didn't escape, though. Brando says it's not Blind Wave. I asked him already, Inspector. Okay. They're opening other theaters in New York City. I don't know any of the geography there. I couldn't tell you Brooklyn from Bronx or Manhattan. I know New York City's awesome. I still don't remember. Deal with it. That's funny. All right. So, all right.
Yeah.
We had our Mando chat. We had our question of the week. Any closing thoughts, Inspector?
Not much. It's a good Mandalorian episode. Excited actually to see what happens next episode. Like see what continuations of Baby Yoda-lorian.
Baby Yoda-lorian, yes. their celebrity name. Yeah, I enjoyed chapter 4. I'm excited for chapter 5. I am sure. I have a feeling we'll probably, maybe find out a little bit more about Baby Yoda in the next episode, and I imagine it's going to be a slow unfolding. We'll eventually find out more about him and what's so special about him. And
Force sensitivity.
yeah. But yeah, no, this was a good episode. I'm excited for the next one. We will be back next Sunday, Inspector. We will. Okay, just checking. We will be back next Sunday. Same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. What are you, Central Time?
Yeah.
Okay, 6 p.m. Central Time. And whatever other time zone you guys are in. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. We appreciate all of you who stopped in, said hi. Thanks for those of you who hung out the whole time or most of it. We appreciate all the support.
Enjoy. Take care, and we'll see you there the next time.
Yeah, we will see you all soon. Okay, now remember, guys, it takes me about 5 minutes to close the stream, so but let's give it a shot. Bye. Let's see. And